Yeah. Clean shaven man. Clean and shaven. Clean and shaven. We ain't changing. We clean and shaven. So let's speak on this. Day 16 of the Diddy trial. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is day 16. It's been 16 days of this. Yeah, very much so. Oh, absolutely. Definitely hit the like button though as you come in. Please hit the like button. It's very important before we start going into this information. We want to give you guys time to get ready so you don't miss anything because a lot of people come in as we're cooking. And as we're cooking, it might end up being too late for you guys. So that's why I always say, hey, make sure that, you're situated. So they said, thank you guys. I do appreciate the love and support. We want to make sure that everybody gets a fair, go at it, as they would say. So we just want to make sure you guys are getting everything correct, right? And that you guys got it fair. He said the live is running good so far, right? Before they come in with the sabotage routine. Okay, they said, what about the witness and the conflicts with the romantic partners? Um, the judge came in and said this to the government. So the government says the last one was with a colleague, not a girlfriend. And they said, well, none of this is in the docket, and the judges had dockets that was posted that was supposed to be, distributed to everybody. Now, here it is. This is the inner city press. Shouts out to them doing what they do. And this is the docket. Right? So they were talking about a press application to docket the unsealed government and defense's communication to chambers for evidentiary and other issues, including the USA versus Sean Combs. And they said, Dear Judge Sumerian, the inner city press has been covering the above captioned case like many others since the incidents. The morning before the jury came in, both the government and the defense referred to multiple communications to the court about evidentiary and other issues, but they're not in the public docket on PACER. This application this morning argues that many, if not all, of here we go again. Here we go again. The same crap they did yesterday is the same thing they were fighting at court today with the doggone document. The public from knowing the information they. Mm-hmm. I know, right? I'm trying, Richie. Are you there? Can y'all hear me? Yes, you're back. My screen was frozen. They doing all kind of nonsense because they don't want you to know the truth. That's why they keep coming with this sabotage move. I told you they was gonna pull this, and now that they done pulled it, everything that they've talked about has been done. It's full circle. You can't stop the truth. No matter how much you try, government, you're not gonna stop the truth. So here we go. We done did all that on Monday. Oh, stay your ass right there. Don't you fall. So if all these people that y'all sitting on there boosting to tell these lies about Diddy, if they tell the truth so much, why are you over here sabotaging somebody else who telling you exactly what the transcripts is saying in court? Why you don't want that heard? So let's get to it. So Shapiro comes in and said this is an impeachment material right off the jump. These are assaults under Rule 608. Is that fair? And the judge said that to him. He said it's not 608B. We're happy to provide the proffer ex parte. It's difficult to explain the fact. They said ex parte popular is irregular. He said the findings too. Shapiro says we want to put in an album art for Mrs. Ventura. They say love a loser video. It shows she is engaged in business independent of Mr. Combs. You're going to ask, why do you need photos? He said, I was going to ask that. The USAA, the AUSAs have done it too. That's what Shapiro said. And he says, I don't see the probative value of these defensive exhibits. The defense is free to question the witness about them. What about drugs? Shapiro said it shows the witness was taking ketamine with Cassie. And Mr. Combs didn't like it. And the government says it's inadmissible. How is that inadmissible? That's if you was taking these drugs with Cassie and Diddy wasn't like it, that's very prudent to the case. How do you think that's inadmissible? So the judge says, Mr. Combs says it's whack or whack. It goes to state of mind. It is admissible. Anything more? And they said the Dr. Hughes' letter. So they had a letter from Dr. Hughes, right? Are we in again, or are they still doing their tampering? Are they doing their tap dance? Yep, they tap dancing. Mm-hmm. Now, they said my voice was clear though, but the picture wasn't. They're doing every tactic in the book to try to shut me down. And you won't shut me up. So, anyway, it goes on to show that what Mr. Combs, they asked about Dr. Hughes' letter, which was moved into a docket, right? And the judge said defense has the Monday to respond to Dr. Hughes' second testimonial letter about coercive control. given what was the Second Circuit said about Ray. And they say, yes, under that recent decision, under the Larry Ray trial. Right? So the AUSA said, we're working on a different infrastructure before the testimony of Jane. They say on the pseudo issue. And they was like, just hand it up. That's what the judge said. If you agree, and I will read it, does the witness Briana Bolan need a Fifth Amendment immunity order? They said yes. He said, I'll ask the courtroom deputy to check out on the jury. So the jury comes in and they said, first, we wish to enter some exhibits into evidence before the jury. And, once that happened, they said, okay, and a search of Star Island by HSI found this cell phone, now called Para 14. The exhibits are excerpts of the data. The data shows Twitter exhibits and text to D-Rock, who says, we in the security room. And the owner of that phone says, what does Shorty say? D-Rock says, Cass is calling studio looking for you. The owner of the phone said, what did she say on the other thing? And he says, act like I said I am not effing with her. And D says, okay. So they say the owner asks, how's her eye? Right? D-Rock says, I told everyone a fight broke out in the club. She ain't tripping. She ain't tell nobody. I'm about to call you. The judge says, thank you. The government may call its next witness. So the government calls in Frank Piazza. So Frank gets sworn in. Yeah, Frank got sworn in and they said, where do you work? He says, audio and video for legal. They said, have you ever testified before? He says, mostly criminal matters. Can you guys hear me and see me? Okay. And they said mostly criminal matters. I've also done some civil and depositions. They said, how have you been qualified as an expert? He said 50 times. He said, we moved to qualify Mr. Piazza as an expert. Defense said no objection. Judge says he's an expert. So they said, how many times have you worked with the SDNY? He says 50 to 100 times. They said, what that impact with your testimony? He said, I do 75% defense work. They said, are you being paid? What is your hourly rate? $295 an hour. And he says, yes, that is correct. They say, you analyze cell phone video and surveillance videos, right? He says, yes. And they said, let me show you. So they show a video of Diddy. The video we've all seen of Diddy kicking Cassie on the ground. They say, what is the frame rate? He said, frame per second? It can cause a video to have more info per second. He said, this cell phone video of a video was shot on an iPhone 6, 30 frames a second. It was not edited or tampered with. I found, and that's what he said. They said, did you reach a conclusion? They are accurate. So they said, and the surveillance videos, there were issues. And they said, the clock was sent to play 30 frames per second, but this was 22 frames. So it played faster. So we had to account for that. They was like, how? We counted the frames and used software to correct the timing where the surveillance videos altered. No. Here's the video stream. The video stream was corrupted. This caused a distortion. The whole file or just these small pieces. The corruption exists in the video stream. There is a structure called a GOP, a group of pictures. We have predictive frames. You don't know this, but a statistic camera does not re-record a wall that doesn't move each second. It is repeated. Only what moves is recorded. And he's like, thank you. So it's just motion capture. Like if you're not moving, the sensor, how the sensor light don't come on if nothing's moving to save on energy. So if something is moving, then the light pops on. So they play 55 seconds and Diddy throws Cassie to the ground and kicks her, right? We've seen that 1,000 times, right? They said, did you see Piplexion? He says, yes. Does it represent manipulations? He said, no. You can choose motion activity. The camera only turns on when there is motion, just like I said, but it causes timestamp issues. Go back frame by frame. I want to point something out. So that's what Piazza said. And he went back to the frame and they did this for like an hour straight. He's like, this seems to be a collision of two issues. Look at the male sitting down. That appears to be a ghost of a person. The motion activity begins to sense that we have motion. Now there's a full figure in the frame. That file is corrupted. Did you make a compilation? He said, yes. Your office requested it. They are edited to track the movement of individuals inside the event. Does it have different camera angles in it? Yes. How do you show the changes? Black screen. Is this the compilation? Yes. Play the first 30 seconds. What is happening? The male is running down the hallway. He throws her down, now dragging her on screen. So what did the man just do? Drag the woman holding the bag. How was he holding it? It appears to be a cell phone glowing. Let's focus on what happened in the mirror. Play it. What happened? The male picked up a small object, what appears to be a vase, and threw it across the room at the woman. They continue playing it. They said, who is emerging now? The female with a duffy, her luggage. Now who? The security person. Now the man. Combs walk away holding what appears to be a cell phone. He puts it to his ear. And the AUSA say, you find this accurate? Piazza says, yes. And this was the footage I had. He says, let's turn to the X videos that they got. PX 201 and 210. He said, let me clarify. These are under seal. They were recovered from the Frank Black user on the device provided by the U.S. by Miss Ventura. So Diddy didn't provide these. These are the ones they got from Cassie's lawyer, which came from Cassie. Right? And they said, are these enhanced versions of original videos created in 2012 to 2014? Mr. Piazza said, what you were asked to do with the with the sexual explicit video, he said, enhance the audio component. We admitted these videos into evidence and no further questions. So they took a break. So Tanny Garagos, she is the daughter of Mark Garagos, who you see on TMZ with the other lawyer, Harvey Levin. And they got their little podcast show they do. So Tanny is doing this case because Mark is actually representing Diddy's mother in another case. So now that's separate from this. Hit the like button, good people, because now it's going to get interesting. Because now the defense is going to cook this dude. So get ready. This is a day they said was a terrible day for Mr. Combs. Once again, I'm still scratching my head. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's go to the actual transcripts and see what was said. So Tenny comes in, and let me give you a background on her. She is an evidence expert. As far as collecting evidence, this is her field. So Tenny is the right person to have on this stand defending Diddy, because she's one of the best in the country at breaking down how evidence is supposed to be collected and entered, whether it's physical or digital. So, absolutely. Thank you for hitting the like button. So they come back. Tenny is up. The defense is up. She says, "What is your understanding of the source of the surveillance videos?" He said, the native system. He said, "How did they come to your possession?" "They was exported and transcoded." He said, "Who gave the surveillance video to you?" "The U.S. Attorney's Office." "Who gave it to them?" "I don't know." "Did you say it was from a cheap system?" "I don't think I said that." "Well, let me show you your notes where you do say it came from that." And they say, "This is only for the witness." That's what the government said. "This is only for the witness." So they block everything out. And the judge says yes. They say, "So you called it cheap?" He said, "I don't know when this document was created, but you thought the system was cheap. In a way. Let me play you 10C to 103. There are 2 minutes not shown." He said, "This is my corrected version, but there are a few issues that we cannot correct. The system is buffering some of the time, and some portions were motion activated." They said, "Let's play it again." Garago said, he said, "Let's again play the mail coming into the elevator bank at 11:02, and then the timestamps are jumping around on the video. Cassie being kicked on the ground is constantly playing catch up." He said, "Now play ahead where we're at 11:11:28. He said, "The female picks up the house phone. There's some sort of a cut. Can you explain that? Can you back up and go frame by frame?" "Sure." "But the male separates from her." "Yes. The bag drop triggered it. A 10-second difference." So he says, even I lost the track of thread for some time, right? Referring to the on the ground, now resuming, and then this needs to be fixed. So they said, "Let's watch it again. Did we jump about 10 seconds on the timestamp?" He says, "Yes." He said, "There's a 5-second offset between the two cameras. That's what you just showed." So they said, "Okay, the female picks up the phone and the male walks away. Start again, please." "Is this his walking away?" "Yes." "Play more." "Did you see this translucent or ghost-like figure in the cell phone video as in the surveillance video?" He said, "The cell phone video was not high quality enough to capture it, but it's not there." That was she saying. And he says, "It is not." And they said, "Mr. Piazzi, thank you so much for coming. We have no further questions for you." So what they just exposed was like this translucent or ghost-like figure in the cell phone as in the surveillance video, you're trying to say. And you said the cell phone video was not high quality enough to capture it. And but they said, but it's not there, right? It is not. Exactly. Now your evidence is tainted because you just agreed with the defense, it's not there. So that means something is missing and it's not there. So they had no further questions. So they had to, redirect. And the government comes up. They have Miss Simer. She comes up. So she says, so there are 5 minutes off. He said, my notes told me there was a 5 minute, 55 seconds difference and another offset of 5 seconds. He said, does these video reliability and accurately depict what happened? He says, yes. And they said, you may go before the next witness. So they have a sidebar. Right? They come back. The government calls Briana Bolan. Right? Bana. And they said, what do you work in? Fashion design. What did Mr. Combs do to you? He held me over a 17-story balcony. They said, any after effects? Night terrors. I wake up in my sleep. Who is this in the photos? It's Cassie Ventura. Cassie's my friend. I met her in 2013 at Young and the Restless, the streetwear company, then at the Diamonds Designs. They said, how would you describe Cassie's relationship with Mr. Combs? She says, volatile. And she said, I did not want to meet him right away. I had seen a black eye. She begged me to meet him. Did you do design work for Mr. Combs? A little. Where did Mr. Combs live? I think he lived in Beverly Hills. They said Nicole Westmoreland. And they said objection. This is speculation. And it just said, ask another question, government. And he's like, did you know the name of the street? 200 South Mapleton. So they like, okay, what did you do with Cassie? She said drugs, and then we'll go shopping, hang out with Deontay and others. Is this the photo of you and Cassie shopping? Yes, in April of 2016. Puff texts Cassidy and where she was. She sent the list where we been and everything. They said, had you or Cassie told Mr. Combs where were you? No. How did it make you feel? They was objection, overruled, right? And then they said, oh my God, he knows where we've been. They said, where would you sleep at Cassie's? She said, the couch or balcony. They said, well, did Mr. Combs come over? Yes, he banged on the door and came in. Do you know how? I don't know. He was upset. He threw a knife in her direction and she threw it back. He left swiftly. Were you doing drugs? I don't remember. They said, did you call the police? No. Why not? I was scared. They said, did you see the injuries on Cassie? She showed me on FaceTime before, makeup and the perfect match. What did she say? She was quiet. Where were a party at the Blind Dragon, a karaoke bar in West Hollywood. Then we went to Cassie's house to help her pack. Deontay was there. Puff came. Are you under subpoena? Yes. I won't get in trouble if I am truthful. Did Mr. Combs provide you drugs? Yes. One was called G. I'm not an avid user. Ketamine, marijuana, and cocaine. How often did you get drugs for Cassie? Often. Those oxy pills. Did she pay you? Yes. Did you get drugs from Mr. Combs? Yes. Once. Cocaine. Did you sell drugs to others? Yes, sometimes. Did you try? Did you try with Cassie to stop drugs? Yes, we tried to cook, but there was a lot of drugs around. Now, they said, has Mr. Combs ever threatened you? Yes. Let me show you a photo of April 2016. Who's in it? This photograph goes by the name of Bad Boy with an I. We thought it was cool that that was his name. We thought we made some art. Puff came up close to my face and said that I am the devil and I could kill you. So now she's starting to try to fake cry. No tears are coming out. She's just sobbing. He said I could kill you. So she's trying to sob, but no tears are coming out of her face. Like it's like an act. And they were like, were you taking drugs that day? She's like, probably cocaine. Did you continue to see Mr. Combs after that? Yes. Why? I don't know. Did you tell the government about this threat in your first meeting? No. Why? And they was like, objection. They was like, sustain. They said, we're going to take a break here. So they took a break. Now, this woman never told the government in their first meeting with them that Diddy threatened them. And just admitted on stand. The government is asking the questions, not the defense. The government was stupid enough to add that to their selection. Do you know why it's stupid? Because if they didn't mention it in the first meeting, why are they mentioning it now? They knew the defense. See, what they're trying to do is a strategy that's failing. They're trying to show that, hey, we're going to ask the questions before the defense can ask it. So now we're going to take away with the shock and awe because we already answered that. When they try to go in on the fact that she never brought it up. You notice a lot of the witnesses are not they're bringing up things that they never brought up in the first meetings that are critical to the case. Somebody never mentioned the R word. Now it gets brought up in the case. Somebody mentioned like he was physical with them. And they was like, well, why do you never said that until the day of the trial? That's been happening alarming rate throughout this trial. There has been testimony from people galore that they keep coming up with that hasn't been delivered at all, or at least not even in their first meeting with the government. Some people have met with the government over 20 times and still have said nothing. The judge isn't in on it. The judge is trying to be fair. And that's what he don't need to do. What he need to do is exercise the damn law and call this trial what it is. He don't have the balls to call this a mistrial because that's exactly what it was. It was a mistrial a week ago, 2 weeks ago, clear mistrial. But this trial is so big, for him to say something like that would be devastating monumentally around the board. So it's hard for him to say, hey, this is a mistrial, because it's clearly a mistrial. Right, this is in the wrong courtroom. We knew from the jump what this is. This should be in a state court, not a federal court. So the judge says, anything before we bring the jury back in. They said, no disputes. So they laughed. They said, but now we think Jay will not get on the stand today, given how long this is going. We would like to get Enrique Santos on today. Some exhibits for James and some tech issues. The judge says, okay. The jury comes out and then is told to return to the jury room. So they said, jurors, we have some tech issues. We have to go under the tables. I'm going to ask you to retire the jury room. Just for your comfort, we'll bring you back in a few minutes. So they said, what happened on the balcony? He says, once again, as they come back in, she said, I was there. Now was there. And they said, Cassie, my ex and my ex-girlfriend at the time. They said, what were you doing? Sleeping on the couch with my ex? Doing drugs? I don't recall. She was doing drugs. They said, what did you do when Mr. Combs arrived? I took my ex-girlfriend to the bathroom. I went, shh. And she says, why? I didn't want to expose her to what I saw then. We went out on the balcony and either lit up a blunt or was about to. Mr. Combs came up behind me on the balcony. He lifted me up and put me on the railing. Can you show us how he held you? To myself, show us how much did you weigh? I can't say because of the drugs, but about 115 pounds. What did Mr. Combs scream at you? He yelled, you know what the F you did? And she says, I don't know what the F I did. And how long did he hold you there? How long does it take to say that multiple times? You know what the F you did. What's next? He threw me on the balcony furniture. Were you injured? I didn't know at first. What did Cassie say? Along the lines of, did you just hang her over the balcony? Then I heard, her girlfriend is in the house. He left and I left. I wanted to take a shower. I felt disgusted. I saw a huge bruise on my leg with like a piercing in the middle. And I went and I had back and neck pain. My neck and my back. This is a photo of you, fair and accurate representation of your leg, right? Yes. They said, I called one of my managers and they said, if you are scared of anything, just go to a chiropractor. What did the chiropractor do? No, they just asked. I just paid and took to the neck brace. Is this the neck brace in the photo of you? Yes. Did you ever talk to Mr. Combs about this? I said, I don't want any problems with you. He didn't say anything. When did you last see them? January 2nd of 2018. How do you remember? I tattooed the date on myself. Why? It's the day I decided to get sober. It was a New Year's thing in Miami at the one hotel. Puff, Cassie, and I did 8 hours of ketamine together. That is the craziest thing I've ever heard. And they said, are you aware Cassie included the balcony incident in her complaint? Yes, I told her she had facts wrong. It wasn't in a hotel in Tiffany. Have you talked with Cassie about your testimony or hers? No, I have nightmares. I scream. Oh my God, these people are lying. When was the last time you had a nightmare? The other day. Have you hired a lawyer about the balcony incident? Yes. My first lawyer was hired in January of 2024. Did you mention everything in your first meeting with us? No. Did your first lawyer send demand letters to Mr. Combs? Multiple. And the demand was high. He picked it. Did you approve the letters? No, they were incorrect. I let him go. Who? Tyrone Blackburn. Brother, they keep tearing you up. They said, did people reach out to you? Tiffany, Cassie, the producer, Rob Holliday. Was he friends with Mr. Combs? Yes. And they said, Diddy's lawyer said, maybe can we have a sidebar? And then they came up there and they came back and said, okay, we're back. Who did Mr. Holliday say he was calling for? Puff. What offer was authorized to offer? They was like, objection. And they was like, how did you feel during the call? I declined the offer. They was like, non-responsive, objection. They was like, more sustain, move on unless you were prepared to ask something foundational. So that we discussed at the sidebar. She was like, did you talk with him again? No. And then they had another sidebar. They said, these objections are sustained. Move on. They was like, your lawsuit, did you write it? No. How much is being requested? $10 million. Nothing further. They was like, cross. And they was like, yes, please. So this woman's already suing Diddy for $10 million. So they said, I need to ask you some questions. You have immunity as long as what you're saying is true today, right? She says, yes. Who decides if you're lying? The prosecutors. So they said, Mrs. Bolan, you were a graphic designer, right? Yes. They said, you and Cassie would work on designs, right? Including at her hour, true? And they said, yes. They said, all right, you were focused on t-shirt design. There were a lot of things. She asked you to come over. Yes. You suggested that Cassie do a photo shoot in the pool in just a t-shirt. That wasn't the first idea, but yes. You began to feel comfortable with her. Sounds around it. You spent the night. Yes? And she said yes. You went to parties with Cassie. Not going to parties. We partied. Meaning did drugs together, for those who don't know. And she said, okay, you did a lot of drugs with Cassie. Yes. How did marijuana make you feel? Sometimes hungry. What about ecstasy? How did that make you feel? A little uplighted. What about G? Like the negative parts of alcohol? Perk. I threw up. Cocoa Puff. Blunt with weed and cocaine. They said, you would agree with me that you and Cassie had a serious drug problem. Yes. You sold drugs to Cassie a lot, right? Yes. You got her $100 worth of pills, right? Yes, they were hers. They says, name the drug dealers. I don't know if I can. Let's refresh. In this job, your clothing line did not work out due to skater mentality at Diamond Supply Company. I believe they saw the vision, but whatever. You believe you were one of Cassie's best friends, right? Yes. But you didn't meet Mr. Combs for a year. You met in 2016, first time at a dinner at his house. Yes? Yes. He was standoffish with you. Yes. Did you talk with Deontay Nash after his testimony? Yes. But not about his testimony, right? We know what's going on. Like, we know what's going on. It was like, you don't need to talk because you know. And it was like, objection, sustained. He said, you hired Tyrone Blackburn to sue Mr. Combs. It was to seek justice. Your definition of justice is to sue Mr. Combs. He's like, can you rephrase that? Suing for money. Yes. So justice to you is getting some money. You've just compromised yourself, dummy. They say November 2023, you are aware Cassie filed a lawsuit. You were working together then. Yes. And the government was like, can we have a sidebar? They finna catch all these fools lying. Why do you keep putting these people on the stand? Oh my God. This is why they want to try to shut down the live stream. This is why they've been tampering my live stream, because they know what went on today. They know they getting exposed. They are getting exposed. All these witnesses are getting cooked, and they've been lying to you. Straight lying, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these lies that they're telling, because they're deceiving all y'all. Mm-hmm. 100%. So after the sidebar, they come back. So Westmoreland, who's cooking them, said Cassie included the balcony incident in her lawsuit, right? True. Cassie said this happened in a hotel. True. She didn't say it like that. You said your apartment, it has a balcony. I didn't say it like that. Cassie told you she never saw you over a balcony. No, ma'am. I don't remember. And he laughs. He said, all right, right there, right here. Read this page, then look up. You had these conversations. I don't know. About this alleged balcony incident, you and Miss Ventura talked about the date, the place, who was there. True. In 2015 and 2016, you didn't see any signs of violence. True. I don't know the exact year. The birthday party, what drugs were you doing? I don't remember. Alleged knife throwing incident, he just walked in and threw a knife? I'm not sure. Are you telling the truth? Objection, sustain. Didn't you tell the government that they would get into knife fights? Plural? I don't remember. Let me show you. I was suggesting where the knives came from because it made no sense. Because it makes no sense. And they say, you're saying you don't know how he got into throwing a knife, but once he left, you were no longer worried. I don't remember how I felt. You say at a photo shoot, Mr. Combs said, I could kill you. Yes. But at first, you told the government it was a party. I don't know. The government needs to, dude, they should just go ahead and just dismiss this case. This is ridiculous. Your first demand letter says, Mr. Combs said I could kill you while he hung you over a balcony. He did both, just not at the same time. They said sidebar, and they was like, yes. So he comes back, he said, you met the government January 18, 2024. Didn't mention I could kill you, but you put it in your demand letter. Yes, in the demand letter. I don't know when. And they was like, read this. And they were like, the whole thing, the paragraph, as much as you want. This is the judge says, as much as you want. She was, thanks, okay. You didn't tell the government about I could kill you, and Tyrone was there. Yes, I let him go. And then they said, drugs were expensive, right? She says, yes, they are expensive. Now, I don't know. Did you run out of money for drugs? I don't remember that. You and Cassie had a drug partnership. Yes. Cassie would pay for the drugs. You'll go buy them. Yes. Did you meet the government on May 25th, 2025 and June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th? Yeah, that's not long ago. That's today. I'm not good with dates. That have you noticed that all the witnesses have been using the same lines? I'm not good with dates. I'm not good with date was used like throughout the day. So they met with the government the 2nd, June 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th, which is today. I'm telling you, you can't make this up. The corruption runs deep. Yeah, they said, okay, the balcony incident. Didn't you tell the government there was a party in the apartment? I don't remember that. You told the government your girlfriend was in the bathroom, not that you took her in there. My ex. Your complaint says you were smoking a cigarette on the balcony, not weed. I don't remember. Different things? Yes. You told the government you recalled he was charging at you. I don't remember. Didn't you first say Mr. Combs essayed you on the balcony? I showed them where his hands were. You said he groped you in your breast, or your lawyer said it. My lawyer said that. Didn't you tell the prosecutors 2 days ago that you couldn't remember what happened out on the balcony? I don't remember. You don't remember what drugs you were on? No. Didn't you tell the government you took Molly, G, and cocaine? That's a lot of drugs. Didn't you take them all? No, not all on one night. How much more did the judge like, Mr. Moreland, how much more do you have? How much can I get? He's like, I like to finish today. And he's like, well, I asked you how long. He's like, quite a bit more. And they was like, well, we're going to leave this here until 11 a.m. tomorrow. They was like, how much more do you got? About 45 minutes, maybe 30. They was like, anything else? And he's like, I emailed you during the afternoon about the Susuda order for Jane. So they start talking about Jane. And then Shapiro says, look, there's a chilling effect on the media coverage, even the demeanor of the witness. The judge said, I don't think people in the courtroom and other courtrooms were trying to violate the order, nor do I think they were chilled. And they said, I disagree that there's been no chilling effect, at least for the respect of the mainstream media. And he says, I think I'll be ready for the order in the document. So Donaldson says, now we can't even talk to him on the phone. He has the minutes, but we can't call it. But he can't call us. It says you have no minutes. What does MDC legal says? That's what the judge says. That he has no minutes. Can he use Corey links? That's not like texting. It can be on a 48-hour delay. He said, I will issue an order. See you tomorrow. And it was adjourned. So right then and there, you're seeing that everybody's all eager to lie. So for the federal government, who's tapped this line and is watching this live, federal government from New York, the AUSA, which one of y'all or they aides are watching this? I want to say this to you. While you're messing and tampering with my live stream, I want to ask y'all this question. Why the hell would you put somebody like that on the stand? It makes you look incompetent and inept at your job. That woman is clearly not telling the truth. She can't remember. So if she can't remember all the drugs she took, she knows she took a lot of drugs, that her and Cassie took a lot of drugs without Diddy there. That helps the defense. I can't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember. Well, if you don't remember, how can we believe anything that you say against this man? Why are you here? The security guy with the footage, and it's 5 minutes missing in 55 seconds of missing time. 5 minutes and 50 seconds collected of missing time. That's what I'm saying. Most of these people don't even realize that this is not going the prosecution's way at all. They're running a narrative scam on the mainstream media like Diddy is facing, oh, this is looking so bad. And it's lies. All of it has been lies. All these people are being exposed. It's not even close. Thank y'all for hitting the like button. Y'all remember to do that. Well, we got to get to the main junction of it. See, the main junction was clear. Back in those days, they used to make plans to go ahead and vet these people a lot better. Now they just grab people because of the internet. They just grab them and throw them up there. No matter what salaciousness that they say, they just back it all up. That's what they do now. They just back it up and say, oh, no matter what salacious stuff they say, we just throw it all this slander crap on the internet, even though it's not in the trial. We'll just do it. Now they want to take some videos of some sex videos that was on Cassie's phone and submit them into evidence during the trial. So the defense has got to do this on the fly as they trying to highlight some audio that's being said that's supposed to hammer down on the guilt. Then you got some idiots out here on social media running around talking about some Diddy's already guilty. They've already proven RICO. They haven't proven shit. What are you talking about? Where did they prove a RICO at? It's dumb. And I'm ashamed. I really am. I'm ashamed of some people because I thought they were better than that. Now, I know one guy is a devoted Christian with him and his wife, and they're letting their moral values get in the way of calling this down the line legally. No one asks you to like Diddy's personal life. Hell, I don't follow Diddy's personal life. I'm not walking around peeing on people. It would be some people I like to pee on because I feel they deserve it. But not to get off. But as far as legal terms in the law, he has not gotten a fair trial. That's one. Two, the government is breaking and bending all the rules to prosecute this man. And the fact that they came after my channel to sabotage my live streams every time I'm talking, That speaks volume. That speaks tremendous volumes of how corrupt the system really is. And they want all of y'all not to see me, not to listen to me. They don't want none of y'all to hear me when I'm saying, listen to the facts. We just went over the facts. All the situation that's laid out, we went over the facts. Not speculation. We went over the facts. We went over what was said in the actual courtroom. And you know what? Other people are starting to do that now. Before they was just watching these teaser tales, and we were in the courtroom and it was so bad for Diddy. When was it good for Diddy then, bitch? Tell me. When did he have a good day? He just having no good days, huh? The defense, he got 10 of the best lawyers in the world and they ain't doing nothing. Exactly. Hit the like button up because they get me frustrated. They get me pissed off because I don't like misjustice or injustice. I don't like it because that's what we have faced as black men in this country forever and still face it. We don't get a fair trial. We don't get a fair shake in the media. We don't get a fair opportunity at work. The place where we go, give our employment to, we're not treated fairly at all. We're not paid fairly at all. Bust our ass at a job, be there 20 years, white guy walks in and get promoted right in front of you. He don't have any experience. Do you have any experience? Nope. You ever do this? Nope, not in my life. But it seems like fun. Well, that's good enough. He's going to be y'all assistant supervisor. Seen it happen. Seen a black man work at a company for 37 years. Since he was 18 years old. Raised his son up and been working at this job, gave him 37 years. He's getting ready to step down and retire. His son is working at the company now. And when he was first working there, the owner used to come in there with his son. He used to tell, hey, this is my son. He used to make sure the son was okay, gave him a lollipop, let him go in the activity room and play while the boss was doing this stuff. And as the son grew up and became 21 years of age, 22, he's now working in the company. He went to college, came back, and his son and their son is the same age. That black man who's been there 37 years, his son is now taking his dad's place as he retires. His dad moved up to supervisor. Not the corporate, just to supervise the shop. That was the highest he made it in 37 years. And now his son, in his 20s, is now finna be a supervisor like his dad, 22 years or 24 years old now. He's 24 now. So now, his son got that job. And guess what happens to the owner's son? The owner's son is his boss. So the owner's son now was the boss of the black man who was there for 37 years, and now his son. So they just replaced and swapped out positions. This little boy that you saw come up in there who was the owner's son, end up taking over the business. He knows nothing about the business. And in 8 months, he fired that man's son, who he just placed and became the supervisor at 24, took over his dad's position. In 8 months, he was fired from the company. By who? The new supervisor, the son of the owner, who knows nothing about the business. Don't really care about it. So we've never gotten anything fair. We've never gotten what we're supposed to be. That was supposed to be us, our worth, or treated fairly. No, it was always at a disadvantage, always a Nepo situation happening. It was always that. They invented it. Jewish people hiring Jewish people just because they're Jewish people. We've seen that. But let you do that. Oh, you ain't being fair. Everybody got to be equality and equal when it's us. They can make a movie in New York and it'd be all white folks everywhere, walking around Manhattan, everywhere, just walking. All through New York, no other race, just white people walking around in the background. No other race. Just all white people in the cast. Where is that realistic? That ain't New York. Not even in Manhattan. That is not New York. But that's okay. But blacks make a movie, we got to make sure the Mexicans is happy, the white folks is happy, and we got to make sure that, hey, we got some Chinese people over here, some Asian people, they unhappy. They want to be represented. They want to be represented in our movie. What do you care what we do? If you don't have to do it with any rules. Now, here's the situation. There are many people out here who are not focused. They're not focused. And that's why they only have time to focus on the news. And the news has never been about us. It has never spoke about blacks in a positive manner ever. Whenever they speak about blacks on the news, it be 4 dead, 5 dead. They're not telling you about the black people in the community that's working to make it better. And the fact that the people who are paid to make it better aren't doing their jobs to make it better. The government officials that's been elected are electing not to do anything. And see, they're not telling you that part. Because see, that part actually matters. It's not about black or white. It's about right and wrong. It's about the law, the system, justice, what it really supposed to stand for, right? What you're charged with. If there's a crime and you could prove that that man is guilty of the crime, then do that. But don't come at him like he's guilty and has to prove himself innocent. Because you're bending the rules with lies and manipulation. Trying to force something that you know isn't there. You put somebody there who worked on and testified against Mr. Combs, who lost money because of that liquor deal and that Diageo deal, right? And he said it himself in the courtroom that their practices, Mr. Combs was right. If anybody ever took time to research that, they will see that in that case with Mr. Combs, Diageo, the judge said Mr. Combs had grounds to continue with his lawsuit when they tried to get it thrown out, because they, the racist people that they are, were trying to keep us marginalized and didn't want Ciroc to escape out of the ghetto, which they say the urban areas, which is racially profiling. They don't want Ciroc in the high events in Hollywood and France and Paris. They don't want those vodkas there. They have their own liquor there that they want to promote there. They don't want your kind there. They were like, look, we just want to get our little bit of money off the black community. And we'll allow you to parade around like you're a boss. But Diddy is an entrepreneur, and he saw himself as a businessman and equal, and these practices wasn't right. So he was fighting for what was rightfully owed to him. The opportunity. When they were taking the wheat and whatever to make the liquor, they weren't taking from the very best of the best. They weren't picking for them. They were getting the scraps. Diddy went to where they actually make the liquor and saw what was happening firsthand. The potatoes they were getting it from wasn't the fresh ones. And was like, hey, I'm paying for this. I paid for this lot so that we can have this, thing done the way it was supposed to be done. So the distillery and everything that they're making, the process and where they collected it from, he pays for that. So he's like, if I'm paying for it, I want the best. I want the best quality. That's why I'm here. He went there personally to see how it was ran and what was the problem. That's somebody that cares about their brand and product. See, nobody else, Jay-Z ain't gonna do that. Jay-Z don't care what happens with Ace of Spades as long as it got his name on it. He's just gonna shut up and get his check, and that's that. Diddy didn't see it that way. So they had to teach Diddy a lesson. So here we are. And this is why I want all of y'all to sign up for my Patreon right now. Right now, you're going to know why I don't deal with Suge Knight and Reggie White Jr. You notice I don't really focus on them. And I tell you all about it on the Patreon. But this is why I tried to tell you guys, being around Hollywood and seeing how these elites moved and how they operated and what they went through, the whole procedures, the process, all of the pain, the struggle, all of the nonsense. I've seen it all, people. I mean it. I've seen it all. It's a sad scenario. And when you start seeing people who don't measure up to what we believe is the standard, right, you're consistently stuck in this conundrum. So it's not a race issue. Oh, I'm always working, B. Right now, look, I got a Diddy video. I mean, not a Diddy, but a Drake video I'm working on right now. So this is, you probably see this in a little bit. Yeah. Now, people have gotten exhausted with Drake. He's been on top for like 15 years of doing this. So a lot of it could be. So as you can see, we always constantly working. So we got the Drake video. You probably see that tomorrow. Mm. That's because many people never understood the uh, the the overall process. Then they said they never tell you Cooper Flag got help from, and then I started showing who really helped Cooper Flag, because these people don't get their credit, and all I do is go back and try to help people get what they deserve. That's basically my job. I never looked at it as a position of like somebody is failing. I look at it as people need to grow. And if we need to grow, this is the way you do it. No, I never felt that way, bro. I always try to make sure people are doing what they're supposed to be doing and hold people to standards, and I stand by my code of conduct. And it's like, hey man, Diddy's your guy, and Diddy is not my homeboy. y'all are crazy. I do not agree with how he lives his life at all. But that's not what's on trial. Y'all trying to make that why he's on trial, but that's not what he's on trial for. Diddy is on trial for racketeering, trafficking, the whole nine. So I couldn't get involved in that. No, because that's just not how I roll. You feel me? That's never been how I move. Mm. You see? When more than one person say something or they have a meaningful stance towards it, it's normally something that comes through that makes sense to the general public. And if the general public or the consensus of the general public don't usually agree, then it doesn't normally calculate or come out to the numbers that would reflect the outcome of what you're naturally going to see in life. For me, it's always going to be different. I'm just having a hard time understanding other people's like drive. Like, what is driving y'all to this narrative of trying to be right all the time when you know something is wrong? If something is wrong, call it out. You know what I'm saying? You see how they dropping everybody now off the live stream? Because they know it's real. See, they can't fake the funk over here. Because, see, they are afraid. They over here listening to me because they was like, he's helping the Diddy people. Because every time he say something, the next day they bring it up in trial. I'm mentioning what's happening in the courtroom. I've spoken to other lawyers. ID card. Cassie's birthday. All of it. They know what's up. First of all, Sean Diddy Combs is not finna hang a girl off of a balcony. That's a lie.
That's my sister Naomi, my baby Cassie. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Cassie!
Hey! Look at that. All love on the beach. Cassie wanted this lifestyle.
Like my last couple of days before I go on tour. Yeah, so I'm enjoying this thing. Baby girl's birthday. You know, ain't nobody gonna do it like Diddy. To this beautiful ocean, thank you for all the peace and serenity this summer. But I gotta hit the road. I'm going to Chicago September 1st. Get your tickets, bad boy. Got my brother Rick in the house. Andre Ravel, Buster Simmons. Yo, the tide is like right on my feet. Look at my shoes. See, what you have to say to the people? What's up, baby? Happy birthday, Cassie. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. What's going on, Jeffrey Bass?
You got two best buffets I've ever seen. You got all the best food
I
here.
got Noble here.
And then you got Mary J.
The weed bar.
Gotta have a weed bar, baby. Ain't no party like a Puff Daddy party. We in LA and we got cars. We don't need anxiety, baby. What's your name, black man? What's your name?
Rest in peace to Andre Harrell.
Is it black excellence? Yeah, tell them about it. The highest one of what anything could ever be done with the most style. Look at my shoe.
Master Yoda, OG. Triple X OG. Blue Dream. And all the food and the spreads, the cheeses, all the 6, 8 different cheeses, and mango Ciroc.
September 1st, coming to your city, Chicago, be there. That family reunion to Orlando.
Where's French Montana, man? French been hiding. French been hiding.
What'd you say? So,
Oh, yes. Doing it big. Diddy style. Look at that, Al B. That's your boy.
coming out. Take that, take that. Take that.
And this dude looks troubling. Matter of fact, I think he was the one on the stand. This dude was on the stand. He looked like somebody that was going to be on the stand, didn't he? Didn't he look like somebody that was going to flip? That dude looked like somebody that was going to flip. Oh, shit. Look at him. He looked like he about to tell, he looked like he ready to go tell on somebody right now. Look at him. If anybody was going to flip, it would be him. That dude looked like he ready to flip right now. He don't, there's something about that guy that don't look right. That dude looked like he could bring down the entire empire. Something about that face at this party just don't seem right. His vibe ain't right. He looked creepy and weird as hell. I'm like, man, look, I don't like this dude vibe. He cannot be at this party. Look at him. They asked him, why are you here? They told me they were going to play Warhammer. They're not playing Warhammer? Oh, well, they had some good food here. I just stay in the corner by myself. Next thing you know, they're testifying, I was not safe. I was afraid of Mr. Combs. Man, let me go back to hear what the crazy psycho stalker dude had to say. So Rock Boys, Mango, we out. That's all he can say. So Rock Boys, Mango, we out. I'm just like, dude, you look way too creepy to be around me. Ain't no party like a Diddy party, baby.
Ain't no party like a Diddy party up in the city. Yeah, I bring this. I bring this. I bring this. Damn, that's a big pot.
Look at it, baby. Look at that. That's a big pot. I mean, a huge wok. Uh-oh. That's right. Free Diddy, damn it. If Diddy want to be a freak, he ain't the only one. I know her. Damn, Diddy. Go Cassie, go Cassie, go Cassie, go Cassie. They didn't put the filter on Diddy. Oh, that ain't a filter. Diddy actually wearing that damn thing. Go ahead, Diddy. Get freaky. Get freaky, Diddy. Get freaky, Diddy. Get freaky, Diddy. Get freaky, Diddy. Yeah. Yeah, it's time for the freak off, baby. Diddy style. Yeah. Diddy, man, let Diddy live his damn life. That's his personal life. If he want to be a freak and he can't help himself, leave him alone. Him and Cassie, two freaky people. He ain't the only one in Hollywood that's freaky. You had McAfee over here doo-dooing on women and all kind of crazy stuff. Matter of fact, no, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. He wanted women to doo-doo on him. The guy who had the McAfee web server protection guy, yes. That weirdo. Defecation in the mouth, oh yes. He wanted a chick to just sit in a hammock while he lay on the floor and she can doo-doo all over his face. Now, I thought he was doing the doo-dooing on them, but no, I had that wrong. I'm telling you, boy, I told you Hollywood is a crazy place. He was weird. And they talk about Diddy. That man is weird. A lot of them are. They way worse off than Diddy. This is a mild spring day compared to what these dudes be doing. Yes, there's a rocker who wanted to have his rib removed, wanted like a couple of his ribs removed so that he could bend over and blow himself. This is what you're dealing with out here, ladies and gentlemen, in this sick reality, in this sick world. All these people are freaks. They all down. They know it. But we will keep exposing you the truth through the transcript, and we out. Deuces.